Jim Langley was the head golf professional at the glorious Cypress Point Club for 34 years. He was revered by everyone who knew him. Sam Reeves, a club member and confidant, sat down with me to reflect on his dear friend, Jim Langley. You were a friend of Jim Langley for so many years. How long have you been a member here at Cypress Point?
Been a member for about 30 years, and I had actually known, obviously, Jim through the membership. And then I was the chair of the golf committee for several years, and so we had a relationship that way. But I actually knew Jim when through the golfing world. And so I came out from Memphis, Tennessee to California. California was sort of a mecca of golf. It obviously had the two great courses, Pebble Beach and Spyglass and Cypress, and courses like that. It had great players. You had Harvey Ward, you had Venturi, Johnny Miller. You had Lima. You had people like that. Had great teachers, Eddie Marions and John Gertson. And then Jim Langley was a great teacher. We may get into that. So you had all the people. They brought golf clubs here. Confidence iron was before any other iron. It changed the game, the baffler. All these things happened. The side saddle, cross-handed, all this was in California. So Jim was very well known. I knew of Jim because of his golf prowess in those days. We used to have the qualifying for the state am at Cypress and Pebble. So in the early 70s, I would qualify here, and that's how I first met Jim. Was 1971 or 2, right after he became the head pro here. I'm about 3 years older than Jim, but we kind of hit it off then, had a little success, and so we met, and then played with him several times in tournaments. Piccadilly, they used to have a pro scratch in Fresno, California, and he used to play with Gary Vanderway, who was a wonderful player who's a member here. And they were partners, and Jack Laxton and I played with him one year. So our friendship started through golf. And so we would see each other at tournaments. Some of his fellow members on the tour, like Dave Stockton, Guy Berger, Johnny Pott. And I knew Johnny fairly well. And then through that relationship, I kind of knew of Langley. Everyone knew of Langley because of his golf prowess. He was a hell of a player. In fact, he has a record, my guess is it'll never be broken. He never played in a professional tournament before he went to tour school. He was a great athlete, so he decided he wanted to go on the tour. So he didn't play in the professional tournaments. He turned pro, went and made it first tour school. Amazing story.
One of many about Jim, and everybody has a story about Jim. Anybody that came in contact with him felt like they were his best friend because he made that most important. I want to know more about you than you want to know about me. And
yes.
So, as head golf professional here, what did the members feel about having a Jim Langley around?
Well, there are many things that make up a great golf club. Obviously, the course. Pebble Cypress is iconic. It's the greatest it is. So that's a gift for it. The heritage of it, it has a heritage. It's played championships. We had the Walker Cup. We're going to have another Walker Cup here very soon. And then also the members, the quality of the members, and the golf professionals. And very few Cypress Point golf professionals. And Jim was there. So he brought all these things together and make a club a great club. And so Jim was a great club professional. He was very, again, gifted as a player. He was gifted as a communicator, and he really was beloved by all the members. Jim was also a great teacher, and very simple, and he loved to teach. And by his greatness, his prowess here as a golfer, he holds the course record, tied for the course record right-handed, and holds the course record left-handed. So,
pretty remarkable.
Any questions?
I was talking to a member this morning, and he said Jim Langley is still with us. He said the culture that Jim brought to Cypress Point is still with us today. That's remarkable after as many years as he's been gone.
I think that's, again, great courses have cultures which he manifested. Sandy Tatum called Cypress Point the Sistine Chapel of God. And Sistine Chapel was painted by Michelangelo, as we know, the ceiling and everything. And the spirit of that, Jim brought a deep spirit that continues to manifest itself. You hear the many stories about the 15th hole where he would put golf balls in for the caddies, etc. Those are all true. So he expressed openly his love for members, but also internally. He was always aware and praying for the members.
That is so special. What when you think about the relationship that you had with him all those many years, what do you take away? What does Jim Langley mean to you personally?
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice, and he never pain he had, but he overcame that by his courage and his endurance and etc. So that was a great lesson you can learn, no matter what your circumstances. It came at a tragic accident, we know, Frank, but then how he overcame that. And so again, pain is inevitable, misery is optional.
Sure.
Jim was never miserable. And but those are type things that we all learn from him. We learn graciousness. We learn excellence with courage, exceptionalism. Little things that we know that he did. Most of the guys would take, at the end of the day, the bags out there, people pick up with two hands, two bags and take them in. Jim would take three in one hand just to show you that he could do it.
All right.
And that was the example, one of the examples.
So now we've got this incredible fundraiser with his name on it, which he never wanted his name on, and he said nobody will know what a Langley is. And over the course, obviously, we've had many of the greats come and not only add to the fundraising portion of the Langley, but also to pay respects to Jim, and that's been so exciting. What is it about the Langley, besides having Jim's name on it, that makes it so special to you?
Well, I think the specialness in and of itself is the honorees that have been here. You've had Nicholas Palmer, you've had Watson, you've had Johnny Miller, you've had people like that would put their name on the Langley. Right. That's hard to get people like that. And Clint Eastwood and Peter Uberoff and Dick Ferris and people like that would be connected to the Langley. That's a real gift that he had. And that's the respect that the trade, if you would, had for Jim. At the same time, support of the people who continue year after year, Frank, that support that because they want the Langley Scholarship Fund to succeed.
He loved that part so much. He loved interviewing the students, and it gave him such a warm feeling of satisfaction to present them a check and know that he was helping somebody, because that's really what Jim was. It was, what can I do to help someone else?
Right. And that, I think, probably came out of his faith. He obviously had a deep Catholic faith. And his faith drove him, if you would, into the marketplace of helping people. And that was what he was really. He was serving meals. He was always doing something in an active. He had a faith, but it was not a private faith. It was out, so in a faith that was active.
Yeah. Some people might see this video that have never been to California. They don't know anything about Cypress Point. They don't know anything about the Langley. What can people do that won't actually come and play in the Langley or attend the banquet? What can people do to help?
Well, I think first thing you can do is to take and read about and learn about a Langley, and is an encouragement for our own lives. of how we can serve mankind, and which that was what Jim was about. When you come into the world, it's only going to work, Frank, if you give more than you receive. If you're taking more out than you receive, it ends badly. So I think that you can take his life and see how he did that. And then if you feel driven to support, you can do it, obviously, financially. So you can do it personally, and you can do it financially.
What else would you like to say that I didn't ask you?
I think that, again, he and I were very close. We kind of basically the same age, enjoyed golf, saw golf for what, golf is a lot like life, as you know, Frank. It takes practice, it takes perseverance, it takes commitment, it takes just every day going back for more. And at the end of the day, it's disappointment, but there's always joy and hope at the other end. And so I think that the golf and life itself are connected. Jim Langley, life and golf are connected. Jim brought so much to golf, and yet golf was a poster child of the driver of Jim, of his life also. So he's a great example of both and not either or. He obviously he was a man who changed many people's lives. Many of the caddies, his stories, I hope you interview some, that of literally how he changed their lives and wanted them to become more and to do the best they can. He valued people, always valued people. He never considered himself, Frank, handicapped either. Never had a handicap sticker, emblem. He never considered himself handicapped. He always considered himself that he had been very gifted.
And indeed he was.
He was a gifter, as you know, all of us, and he's still beloved here. His successor is also very gifted, and Casey Reamer, and also has many of the ingredients that Jim does.
Yeah. How fortunate we all were to have Jim in our lives, and how fortunate that Sam, that he was to have you in his life as well.
Thank you. So on my living room table there's a picture of he and I years ago. This was the McKenzie Cup that was played probably in the 90s at Pasatiempo, and he and I were played in that together, and so that's I still have that. That was given to us. I still have that on my living room table in a conspicuous spot because of my love for Jim.
It's always nice to have a little reminder. Sam Reeves, thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank.
Appreciate it. To learn more about the Langley and its charitable works, visit ncpgafoundation.org.